Hey guys, it's John from Album Review TV, your home for music news and reviews. Today I am reviewing the new album by Shiny Toy Guns titled 3. It's their third studio album, and it just so happens to be named 3. Shiny Toy Guns are an electronic rock group, but it's really hard to just throw them into one category like that. There's so many different genres that go into different albums that have been put out by the band. They go into alternative rock, synth pop, new wave, and even alternative dance at times, and just straight up electronic roots is basically what was behind We Are Pilots electronic rock. It transformed on their second album, Season of Poison, though. Season of Poison saw a change in female vocalist. Kara, the lead female vocalist for the band, temporarily departed, saw a new female vocalist come and go before Kara rejoined the band, but Season of Poison was focused more on alternative rock music, and many fans were angered than the lack of electronic influences that really were in the band's roots. And honestly, while the fans' outcry was heard by the band and the band promised to return to electronic roots, I personally really enjoyed Season of Poison for what it is, and that's more of an alternative rock album, and it's missed for me on the new album 3. And honestly, Shiny Toy Guns' favorite album for me is Season of Poison, narrowly edging out their debut album, We Are Pilots. On 3, the band decided to really slow things down, and lyrically, the album deals more with love and just finding your way in life, and honestly I kind of miss the faster paced guitars and the more upbeat lyrics and tempos to the songs that were featured on Season of Poison and even We Are Pilots. There's a surprising amount of slow jams on the album. They even decided to close the album on the ballad, Take Me Back to Where I Was. Now I'm not saying at all that the ballads aren't powerful, especially lyrically, but honestly, I feel like they kind of lack the Shiny Toy Guns edge at times. For me, they fall into a category that's somewhere between good and generic. Instrumentally speaking, the album is very solid from start to finish, especially on the more fast-paced songs like Speaking Japanese and Somewhere to Hide. Many fans of the band, even myself at times, doubted that 3 would ever see the light of day because the album was mentioned as early as 2010. All the original members got back together for 3, started recording 2011, and they released the first single, which was called The Sun, in March of 2011. And everyone expected the album to follow shortly after. The band, even members Jeremy Dawson and Chad Petrie, were hyping it up, talking about the album's release would be expected for summer, but for quite a while, nothing was heard from the band regarding the album. Finally, in early 2012, and even the spring of 2012, more and more news about the album was revealed, and it was revealed in May of 2012 that the album was in the mixing stage and that the album was going to be out by fall. Over the summer, 2 singles were released, Waiting Alone and Fading Listening, to generate hype for the album, but really the album has failed to generate near as much hype as obviously We Are Pilots when they were at their peak of popularity, and even Season of Poison, which saw first week sales of 60,000. But the main question people are probably really wondering about is, will longtime Shiny Toy Guns fans be pleased? And I think the answer overall is yes. Shiny Toy Guns have done a lot of growing up since we last saw them in 2008, at least in the album form, and if that translates into a slower style of electronic rock music, then so be it, but honestly it's just not my cup of tea as a whole. Yes, I'm aware I use the word honestly too much sometimes. You can tell the band still has a fire inside of them, and it really comes out on the standout track on the album, which is titled Speaking Japanese, and it's easily the best and most energetic song on the album, reminiscent of older style Shiny Toy Guns material. Kara seems to get more vocal time on this album than Chad does, which kind of makes me sad because I really connect more with the music when they're rotating back and forth on vocals. For example, the single Waiting Alone features the 2 vocalists rotating off back and forth throughout the song, and it results in one of the most memorable songs on the album. Its slower style was kind of unexpected to me at first, but really it grew on me and has become one of my overall favorites on the whole album 3. I feel like the most bland songs and disappointing songs for me on the album were If I Lost You, The Sun, and Carrie. And I think The Sun really gave people the wrong taste about what to expect on the upcoming album 3. It failed to generate hype because people were somewhat disappointed in it. I was kind of disappointed in the song myself, and it's not one of my overall favorites. I feel like a song like Waiting Alone or even Speaking Japanese could have been released first to give fans a better taste for what to expect on the upcoming album. For me, the best songs on the album are Speaking Japanese, which I already discussed as being the overall favorite of mine, and the overall most energetic on the entire album. Reminiscent of older style Shiny Toy Guns. Waiting Alone, like I mentioned, the single, I really like that one, and the way the vocal duties were swapped back and forth on that song. Somewhere to Hide is another favorite of mine. It's a nice, smooth electronic jam that really starts off the album with a spark, but sadly the energy just does not really continue throughout the rest of the album for the most part. Now, I'm not saying that the album is totally lifeless or anything like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't want to hear that in the comments like, oh, why you just like it, don't like it because it's slow-paced ballads. No, I just miss the spark and the edge that a lot of older Shiny Toy Guns songs had that I just don't feel like this album has a whole lot of. But back to the song Somewhere to Hide. The chorus on the track is easily the most memorable and catchy on the entire album. There's definitely some cool electronic sounds that are explored on this track. Mercy is another favorite of mine. It's a slower paced song that's really hard-hitting lyrically, I believe, and it's definitely one that's grown on me a whole lot since I started listening to the album. Wait for Me is my last favorite on the album, and it's not really what you would expect in any typical song because of the way it's kind of split up into different sections. It's really interesting and unique though, and throughout the song it changes pace musically and even vocally throughout the course of the song. Speaking Japanese is definitely going to go down as one of my favorite songs of the year, probably in my top 50 list, which will be coming out near the end of December, so be sure to stick around for that. But overall, this album as a whole just isn't that unique or refreshing for me, so I'm feeling a strong 3 for the album 3. And it makes sense, doesn't it? They were kind of asking for a 3 rating on that, weren't they? That's just the way it worked out. That's honestly how I feel about the album as a whole. I'm kind of divided on a lot of the tracks, although there are several that are really, really good standout tracks. I want to know what you guys thought. Please let me know in the comments section down below. If you like Shiny Toy Guns, are you disappointed with the new album, or is it your favorite album yet? Also, let me know what I should review next in the comments. Please make sure to subscribe, check out the links below, Facebook, Twitter, my other channels, and thanks for watching, guys. I will see you soon for another review right here on your home for music news and reviews, Album Review TV.